In today's video, we're going to go over my leveling guide for 40 through 60 in New World. We've done 1 through 20, 20 through 40. If you need those, they're in the description. But this is the final stretch, the hardest part. I'm going to go through everything so you guys don't miss any content and you can level efficiently and get to 60 ASAP. Starting off with the basics, if you guys flag PvP in the bottom right, you get a 10% bonus XP boost, which is fantastic if you're on a low pop server or if you're rolling around as a group. If you are solo, it can waste a bunch of time though if you get rolled up on by that group. And you have to do the whole run to your main mission or side quest, whatever you're doing again, which does waste a bit of time. Territory standing is also a thing. As you're doing missions, PvP, or anything in each individual area, you get reputation for that area, which gives you XP per level, which is sweet, but also you get rewards for that, like storage, gathering speed, etc. One of them is XP Booster. It is a fantastic way to level up quickly in each individual area, but it's not a great card to choose if you intend on doing anything endgame, because once you hit 60, you're no longer getting XP. But if you're the kind of gamer that is just playing the game to progress through the main story, get to level 60 and you probably move on to a different game, that is a great option for you. And one more thing, rested XP is also a thing. If you log out in a town overnight, once you come back in the morning, your character will be rested and you'll get bonus XP for the first few missions that you turn in for that day. So make sure you turn in the ones with the biggest amount of XP to start off with, because you get double the amount of XP you're supposed to get for that mission. So for example, faction missions or town board missions, some are only like, 400 to 600 XP, and some are all the way up to 3,000, 7,000 XP. So make sure you hand in the biggest ones, because you'll double that mission's XP reward. Alrighty, now that we've got the basics out the way, we can pick up where we left off. We were in Weaver's Fen, level 40, and we're currently doing the Periville Elite Zone. This is a fantastic area to farm if you guys are solo, in a group between level 38 and I'd say probably 43, maybe even a little bit higher if you guys want to. It is fantastic, but I would highly recommend doubling down on the XP that you guys get while you're here. You can get a bunch of faction missions, side missions, and town board quests that all lead you here anyways. And if you're just going to farm it just for the enemies, you may as well do the faction missions or the side quests at the same time to get extra bonuses. There's also an option down here in Cutlass Keys, by the way, that is a level 40 elite zone as well, called Stone Skull Fort. I personally don't like it. It's a pirate area. They have shields, they have melee weapons. Ranged weapons as well as melee. And there's also that guy that throws the anchor. I just genuinely don't like those enemies. They're way more difficult, and let's just say these ones are way easier, and it's the same level and amount of XP. From there, you want to make your way to Restless Shores, which is honestly one of my favorite areas in the entire game. It looks amazing, but also there's so many different things to do here, and it's very good for leveling up. You're probably going to hit it around 40 at the earliest, because there is higher level enemies here. But once you get to any town, the basics, the main story is king. You get so much XP for literally doing practically nothing. Side quests all the way, if they're on level, they will be worth it. They also have some good rewards as well. Faction missions, only if they're on the way generally. PvP missions, if you have them flagged and you are comfortable going around, or if you're in a group, etc., then they are worth it, but they're not a good amount of XP. It's only really worth if you go in there anyway along the run to a side mission or a main quest. Town board quests though are absolutely insane if you guys know how to use them. They refresh every 30 minutes and they're per town, and they can be really good ways to level up. Sometimes you get progression blocked by the main mission, like you have to be such level. Town board quests really help with that and keep your level going. It depends on what you use though. For example, do not give them raw materials, rawhide, fibers, iron, wood. Don't give them those, because they're not worth the amount of XP versus time put in. Instead, take those materials, level up your crafting skills, and the town board quests will upgrade, giving you different quests with better XP. For example, 40 weirwood planks, 7,300 XP. That is sometimes more than you get for main quest rewards, which is fantastic. Other smaller ones like Energizer travel rations or just regular travel rations, only a small amount of XP, but if you're in Everfall, I can buy these on a low pop server for 1 cent each. If you're on a high pop server, you'll definitely be able to do that in a lot of different towns. It's worth if you can just buy it for like less than $1. It's only a little bit of XP for a little bit of coin. But if you have to go get the resources, not worth your time. These cooking boxes never really seem worth it to me, but if you're really into cooking, maybe you already have the resources. One thing that I always get though are the armor boxes and the weapon boxes. Those are fantastic. Very little amount of resources. They level up your crafting skill of that kind, but also give you a chunky amount of XP, depending on what level you are in. These raids, never worth it if you're in a lower level area. If you're on level area, for example, if you're 40 to 50, Restless Shore, Ebonscale Reach, Great Cleave, all those kind of areas, they're usually in the same area as your faction missions, your side missions, or even sometimes your main quest. So they're worth hitting at the same time. But if you're just going to that, not worth your time. Oh, and one more, the hunt animals one. It's really good if you find the animals where you're going anyways. For example, rabbits, wolves, and turkeys are pretty much everywhere. You can take those out, get a free 700 XP for that. If you have to go looking for the animal, like sometimes crocodiles or bears come up, if you're not going to find them, don't go out of your way to do them. It's not worth the XP. So pretty much just save all of that information per town we move to. You're going to be doing main quests as primary, side quests and faction missions for whenever they're on the way pretty much, and town boards every 30 minutes for the ones that are worth doing. Whilst we're in Restless Shore though, like I said, multiple different things you guys can do. There is an elite zone for level 45 recommended. It is Angry Earth enemies. Some are really good. I would be a little wary of the ranged guys. They hit hard and you can't really get to them if you guys are not a ranged attacker yourself. But they're really, really good to do solo or in a group primarily because, of course, healers keep you alive. There is also a really, really good set of AoE farms. There used to be a good one at Boar's Home. It's still pretty good, especially if you're trying to get skinning XP, but it's not as cracked as it used to be. These two, though, aren't broken. They're just really, really good. If you go to either of these towns, I'll show you guys some gameplay on screen. You pretty much just run around, get the aggro of all the individual enemies, and then set them all into one spot, do a bunch of AoE damage, and take them all out, and you get like 500-ish XP plus a bunch of weapon XP for any AoE weapon is the primary one you want to use. And you can just do that on a loop. Just once a minute, an easy 500 XP, and just do that constantly. If you have a group, it's really, really easy. If you're a solo, you just have to make sure you can do enough AoE damage, and you don't want to be under-leveled, because if you get hit by 20 enemies at the same time, you're down and out for the count. There are a bunch of AoE farms, depending on what area you're in, what level you're at. There is a whole heap. I'll probably have a separate area for like XP farms separately and AoE spots, because they often change from nerfing or game changes in general. But there's another spot in Great Cleave. If you come down right here, there is an easy town with a bunch of trash mobs. You can take out them. Or right here, you can do a bunch of faction missions, side missions, and also AoE farm at the same time. These ones are a little bit more difficult though. Got some range guys in there and a bunch of shielded dudes. So make sure you're ready. Don't be under-leveled for those. Trust me, it won't be worth your time if you're underleveled. Once you hit level 45, the depths opens up. It is a really fun expedition that you guys definitely want to do, or actually you have to do via the main mission. You get one key from the main mission, one from the side quests from Restless Shore, so another reason to do those. But also before you go in, make sure you double down on the XP that you get per run doing them, because you only get 2 keys for free, and from there they're pretty expensive to make. So make sure you get the faction mission that is for the depths, as well as the side quests, and then you'll have the main quest all in one shot, and you'll get a bunch of rewards per run that you do it. Definitely don't waste that. You can like double or even triple the amount of XP that you get per run. You'll want to run that as many times as you can, because you get some really good gear out of there that'll help you push forward into the next levels. From 45 to 50, Morningdale is the recommended area. You'll have your new main quest, side quests, faction missions, and town boards from Morningdale, but also level 45 corrupted portals. If you're solo, you can usually take on the single ones if you have a good enough build. If you have a group or find there's usually a train running around on each individual server, even on mine, which is pretty low pop, you'll be able to take on the recommended 5 players like group big portal ones for good rewards, particularly the rewards that you need to make dungeon keys, but also you get some good gear like weapons and armor, as well as XP. Also, if there was enough stuff to do here already, there is a Marauders Reputation rank up mission here. If you're in Syndicate and Covenant, the area is different, but for Marauder Gang, there is a mission here as well to rank up your reputation for your faction. There's no elite zone in Morningdale, unfortunately. There's a few semi-okay AoE farms with the skeleton enemies. Up to you guys. If you have any you recommend, let me know in the comment section. I didn't really do too much AoE farming in this area personally, but let me know if you guys know of one. With a combo of Restless Shore, Morningdale, as well as Great Cleave, with those few AoE farms chucked in there, it's pretty easy to get from 40 to 50 very quickly, and then be pushed into Eden Grove as well as Ebonscale Reach. Eden Grove is where the main missions are at, and the enemy scaling here is pretty wonk, if I'm going to be honest. It gets really difficult really quickly. If you stick to the bottom area, it's not too difficult to manage solo or in a group. As you push up though, you get to level 60 and above enemies very quickly, and you can get slapped very quickly. So make sure you're very careful in this area. Progress the main mission as much as you can. If you're solo, you will probably get progression blocked. I got stuck right here when I got to a big boss that's like level 60 plus, and he has way too much health for me to do on my own. So I have to wait till there's multiple people in the area to help me out. But Heaven Scale Reach is considerably easier. The enemy scaling is a lot nicer here, and there is a bunch of stuff to do in close proximity to level you up really, really quickly. There's usually a bunch of faction missions. Honestly, I did more faction missions in this area than I did anywhere else because they were just so close. I got at least 1,000 to 2,000 XP per run, so it just seemed to be worth it. Obviously mixed in with the side missions and main quests as well. I definitely felt a real slowdown at this point though because I was solo. If you guys are in a group, you'll be absolutely sweet. Just do corrupted portals together, do elite zones together, and do dungeons together. If you're solo like myself though, one huge tip that really helped me out was craft skills. If you have any craft skills still that are level 50 or below, take the time, grab those resources as you're doing your faction missions that are required to level up that craft skill and craft in bulk in an area that doesn't have too much of a high territory standing at this point for your current character. For example, I probably just grabbed all the resources I had and spent about 1,000 gold getting enough materials to craft 1,000 light meals. Just buy the materials cheap off Everfull, it's not too difficult. And then traveled to Reekwater, which I currently had low territory standing in, and I crafted 1,000 light meals. And I'm ballparking, got about 30,000 to 40,000 XP in one shot, which really helped jump me up and got me into the Dynasty Shipyard. So if you currently have anything that's below that, for example, I could do it for stone cutting, jewel crafting, arcana, just level those up in bulk in an area that gets you a bunch of territory standing, which will give you bonus XP. The craft skill, as you level it up, that'll give you a bunch of XP. All of that will really help boost you. That way, at around about 55, you can get into Dynasty Shipyard via the main mission. Again, double down on the XP. There are side missions. There are 2 faction missions for this area. Do all of them at the same time, and you'll get a huge amount of XP in this area. From there, again, do that as many times as you can. Get all the rewards you can possibly get out of there and all the XP possible. Head on over to Reekwater. This is going to be probably one of your final areas that you head to. Again, regular things, main mission, side quest, town board, faction missions. You know the deal by now. Head on over to here. There is actually quite a few good spots. There is a very scary elite zone if you guys are by yourself. If you're in a group or in a high pop server with a bunch of people there, sweet. Head on over, join a group, do that. You get a bunch of XP. There's also a bunch of portals. These are currently 65. There are 55 ones floating around though. There we go. Knew there was some somewhere. Again, join with the corrupted portal train if you guys need easier rewards to level up your armor and weapons. Also getting XP. In Reekwater, there is quite a few good points of interest if you guys are looking for AoE farms. For example, this cave right here, a bunch of angry earth guys which aren't too healthy, pretty easy to take out because they're underground in tunnels and you can funnel them all into one spot, do a bunch of AoE damage and take them out. Even if you guys are solo, if you're in a group, you'll have absolutely no problem in there. There's a bunch of skeleton dudes. If you prefer those kind of enemies, this whole like mountain is just filled with them. You can probably get like 40 of them together if you have a big enough group to take them all out. There is also a dungeon, the Lazarus Expedition. You guys can take on that probably from 58, I would recommend. I personally haven't done it yet. I've seen it done. I do not have a key because I'm progression blocked by myself. But if you guys are in a group, you should be able to take on that with some decent builds. There is also the Elite Zone. I think I mentioned that before. But there are 2 spots right here. Again, AoE farms if you guys want. But the dogs that drop werewood if you guys want to level up your logging. But also the bears that require mining. So high level ones that you can level up both of those skills very easily and get yourself some XP via doing that. But yeah, the final stretch, it is a little bit of a grind. Unfortunately, if you guys are solo, faction missions and side missions make a nice loop in this area though. It makes it pretty efficient with the town board quest added in there. You'll be there in no time. In terms of individual XP farms, I'll cover those separately in a different video because a lot of them get nerfed, patched, upgraded, new ones found. I want all of this information to be relevant regardless of how late you guys are watching the video. So keep an eye on the channel for those. If you guys want to subscribe, click that like button if you enjoyed the video. I'd much appreciate it. We also have a Twitch we stream to every night, linked in the description down below. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll catch you guys in the next video and a live stream. Till then, adios.